Morning, everyone. This is my watch list for Friday, August 21st. All right, so what happened yesterday? This was literally textbook, right? I talked about this 767.50 to 768. Previous day low. This was the previous demand from Tuesday. This was a textbook pop and fade off the open. And then again at 11 o'clock, we popped into that supply and failed and sold off the entire rest of the session. We should have just traded SPY yesterday, honestly. I don't know what we were thinking. We were trying to trade individuals, and we should have just traded SPY. It was textbook, okay? But let's not focus on the past. Let's focus on the future, right? We both wound up going green, right? Brett also took a red trade, and then I took a red trade. But then we both took green trades after that, and we wound up green on the session. So that's all that matters. Let's focus on today. All right, so what's happening? SPY's gapping up a little bit. We almost hit that big demand. I'm not surprised at all that the market's bouncing, right? 760 is a big level. We got to 762, and now we're just bouncing off of that demand. No surprise at all, okay? So today, what can we watch for? 768 is still supply, all right? If we reclaim 768, we can actually watch for a move back into 772, which was that failure from Wednesday, right? That was the previous supply. That was the reject that we liked, that we took on Wednesday, right? So if we get back over 768, we can look for that move, $4 potential move, or we can look for demand bounces, all right? Now we're at the point where we can confidently look at this is a 4-hour level. It's a huge level. So 760, we can watch for a demand bounce there if it actually gets there. If not, we can watch for that 768 reclaim, or 768 rejects if market's weak off the open. All right, let's see what happens. QQQ is back at that 716 supply. Remember I said if we get below 716, I don't really have anything down to 710, 708, right? That's exactly where we bottomed and bounced yesterday. 710, and then here we got down to 708.50 in the afternoon, and that's where we bounced, right? So the Qs are also back into supply. Let's see what happens at this 716. If we hold above 716, this has room back into that 722. Then if we get above 722, then we can push into that higher level of supply, 726, 728. All right. But let's see how we open again on both the SPY and Qs. Apple failed the big supply. This was another nice short, honestly. 319, 320. Brad and I both mentioned this pre-market Wednesday. This was the big supply, 319, and then we failed it again yesterday. That was an easy trade as well. Just sometimes you get caught in the wrong names. That's all. AMD bouncing off my demand again. I don't know how many times it's going to hold this 460. It seems like it's the best level in the world because it just keeps holding it, right? So if we get below 460, it's a short. Otherwise, no shorts on AMD, okay? Let's just keep watching this. Eventually, it'll break this range. Either it'll reclaim 500 in a rip, or we get below 460 and we can short it. Amazon. So I really like this long on Wednesday, right? The 262 reclaim. Yesterday, it failed, and now we're just sitting at that 262, all right? This is an interesting chart because we have to hold this 258. Otherwise, it turns into a short. All right, 258, we bounced here. This was the previous demand from back here. If we lose 258, this turns into a short, okay? Otherwise, we can look for long entries, but just have to be careful. You know, it needs to show signs of strength if we're going to long. Google, I like this below 340. It kind of broke yesterday, though. Yeah, it already made a move to 338.50. I probably won't trade Google today. Meta 540 is huge. You guys remember I mentioned this on Wednesday live as well. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. As long as we hold 540, this is bullish. We can actually watch for bullish reclaims today. So if we reclaim this 555, I like longs on Meta. If at some point this loses 540, it's a short. That's it. Microsoft, nothing. Netflix, I mean, this chart's just bullish, right? Can continue looking for upside. 81 was the failure yesterday. It was the failure Wednesday. If we get above 81, you guys can continue trying to long this name because it's just in an uptrend. PLTR, I think everyone's watching this today. Brett, Rav, me. This just looks like it has a lot of squeeze potential, right? It just needs to take out Thursday's highs, Wednesday's highs, Monday's highs, and this can push 180 plus. This may be a trade that all three of us take today, okay? It has a lot of momentum built up. It needs to just take out these levels and it can go. Nvidia, this is annoying. Remember I said I was watching 214 bounce? Look what happened pre-market. What the hell? I don't even know, maybe they got some news in the pre-market, but we pushed right into my demand and now it's up $5 off my demand. All right, I don't know why they had to do this pre-market and not wait for intraday. I would have taken that bounce and we would have made a lot of money, right? I did take this long yesterday. So you guys saw, I took it long here. I should have used 216.5 as stop and add, but those one-day contracts are just so volatile, right? So I got in here. This candle wicked me out, but then we just re-entered, right? We re-entered on the reclaim, and then it ripped to 219, okay? So I went from red on the day to green on the day, and now it's actually strong, right? We held 214 demand pre-market. We're back above 217. I think we could actually watch this just to reclaim that 220, yesterday's highs. If we reclaim the 220, we should get a nice move, at least into 222, 223, and potentially higher. Okay, and then Tesla, I like this over 352. So yesterday it failed, right? Rav shorted off the open, it failed, but then it reclaimed the 342, which is the gap fill level, right? And now it just looks strong. Okay, so if we take out what is this, Wednesday's highs and last Friday highs, then this turns into a squeeze. I mean, we're just filling the gap, right? So this has room from 352 all the way back to 370. So I like Tesla longs, I like Nvidia longs potentially, but Palantir longs, okay? Maybe AMD short, probably not. It's still holding. And then let's see what else we have today. Potentially Aspire Q's trade, but I actually really want to focus on Palantir or Tesla today. All right, those are my two main watches. I'll see you guys on live. Let's close out the week and have a good weekend, everyone. We'll see you on live.